Greetings and welcome to the Empowerment Fact Sheet, the program brought to you by the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, meant to highlight the critical work that the Commission has been doing. In the last episode, we were introduced to this vital work. We were joined by the Director General of the Commission, Dr. Muwe Mungule. And on this episode of the program, we are excited to dive deeper into what CEEC is doing, and we're looking at the crucial aspect of Business Development Services, or BDS. And joining me on the program is the Director of Business Development at CEEC, Mr. Albert Ngimu. Hello, sir, and welcome to the Empowerment Fact Sheet.
Thank you very much, Mitch.
Great.
It's my pleasure.
Great. And quickly, to start, kindly explain to us what the role of Business Development Services Department is at CEEC.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Business development is the engine of the CEEC empowerment programs.
Okay.
We actually a driving force behind the CEEC programs in terms of strategic direction and operational execution of those programs to ensure that the programs are not just sustainable, but also aligned, impactful as well, but also aligned to the 8th National Development Program of the country.
Okay. Now, last week, the Director General did speak to the pillars of economic empowerment.
Correct.
Can we then say that some of the programs that the Department of Business Development at the Commission provides are in line with the pillars of economic empowerment?
Correct.
And what are some of them?
Correct. Let me just categorically state here that CEEC has 9 pillars. I'll try to mention all of them.
Okay.
But if we forget one, we'll still get back to it.
Absolutely.
We have access to finance. We have skills development. We have preferential procurement. We have equity ownership, management, and control. We have skills development. We have foreign direct investment, greenfields investment. Those are some of the pillars that CEEC has. But then business development strategically plays a role in actualizing 4 of those pillars.
Okay.
The pillars are skills development, transformation of society. We also play a role in preferential procurement, as well as corporate social responsibility.
Great. And predominantly CEEC's work is all about the citizenry.
Yes.
How then can the targeted citizens, as it were, benefit from the services that the department offers?
Correct. First and foremost, let me say that without business development, our citizens will be like left in the cold. When a citizen applies for a funding, business development comes in to conduct what is called pre-finance training for them to be brought to the know in terms of what to do with that money that they're going to get. And then once they get the funds, we also do post-disbursement training. As I'm speaking to you right now, Mitch, we are already implementing one of the pillars in terms of skills development, where we have brought in SMEs, which we're currently gathering at Pamosi, in Lusaka-based SMEs, to try and teach them how to manage their businesses, how to do their books, and to ensure that their businesses do not fail. That is a program that we would want to make sure that it goes around the country, but we've started with Lusaka.
Okay.
So our MSMEs will benefit from business development services in terms of the knowledge, in terms of skills development. That is a major role that business development plays. And also in terms of market linkages, where we are able to coordinate with other partners to link our MSMEs to access contracts from other institutions.
Okay.
So that is a role that business development is also playing to create an enabling environment for MSMEs to thrive.
Okay, great. Now, you've mentioned an activity that is currently taking place to highlight what the Department of Business Development at the Commission is doing, which is a financial literacy program being collaboratively undertaken with ACCA Zambia. So, dear viewer, please draw your attention to the screen as we get some feedback on the financial literacy training that CEEC is currently undertaking.
My name is Conrad Walia. I'm the founder and director of Wando Farms Limited, based here in Lusaka. In the past, most financiers, actually in the space that we operate, would just lump money on you without caring about you, the person or the founder. So this training actually is now trying to fix that gap. Instead of just putting finances on me, do you know at what level I am at in terms of understanding my operations? How ready am I? Am I bankable? How is my documentation being managed? Am I able to show actual evidence of my business performance? So this is actually an eye-opener for us. So they are now focusing more on the founder than on the business. Before, people look at the business, let's finance the business, ignoring the founder. So for me, this is focusing now on the founder, just checking at what level we are at in terms of understanding our operations and all that is required in the industry.
My name's Dora Kabikamonga. This training is very beneficial. We've really learned a lot, and we are still learning because it's helping us on how we are going to manage our finances. We've learned things like bookkeeping, how to budget, how to price, costing and pricing, because you find that sometimes your cost is so high, but then the price is low, so meaning you are making a loss. So you have to balance them. If possible, you have to make sure the costing is a bit less and then the pricing is slightly higher for you to make even or to make a profit.
So exciting views coming from some of the recipients of support from CEEC at a financial literacy training workshop being undertaken collaboratively with ACCA Zambia. And if you're just tuning in, well, this is the Empowerment Fact Sheet highlighting access to support, particularly business development services by the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission. And I'm joined by the Director of Business Development at the Commission, Mr. Albert Ngimo. Sir, some exciting sentiments that some of the applicants are sharing. Now, this in a way could counter the narrative that some people might have that CEEC just merely disburses funds and they don't build capacity in the recipients of that support. And in turn, that goes on to see these clients default or their businesses not become sustainable. Your quick comments.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Thank you for this opportunity, first of all, for us to highlight sentiment, things that are happening in the nation with regard to our empowerment agenda. Business development is playing a vital role in changing that narrative. CEC does not just fund you and leaves you in the court. Absolutely not. CEC will handhold you. CEC will follow you to make sure that we check on how your business is performing, and then we see your needy areas where we can come in. That's what we do. Because ultimately, this is not just like a grant, it's a revolving fund, it's a loan. So once we give you that loan, we have to make sure that that business that money is put to good use, and then you pay it back. Because when you pay it back, somebody else will benefit from that loan. So CEC, as you have rightfully seen through that clip that you played, is showing that we do not just disburse money and leave the recipients alone. We follow them to help them, to nurture them, to help them manage their business appropriately, so that ultimately the economy benefits from the successful businesses that are being run by the people that we are supporting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at which point does this support come in? Is it before we disburse the funds, or it is during the process that this enterprise is still a CEC client? When does CEC offer these business development services?
Well, the business development services begin even before we disburse.
Okay.
First of all, when you come to us, and probably you have no idea in terms of how you can package your application, we will come in there and give you that support in terms of how you should package your application, what should be included in that application, and also we will guide you as to what type of business you can acquire from CEC in line with what you want to implement, the project you want to implement. So the support does not begin after we have disbursed. The support begins right before we've disbursed the funds.
Okay, then what would be the eligibility criteria that CEEC looks for in enterprises, individuals willing to access support from the Commission? What is the eligibility criteria? The
eligibility criteria, Mitch, is that first of all, you have to be a Zambian. a citizen of the country. CEC is an inclusive institution. We do not alienate anybody. But then what we encourage you, if you have a business idea, a bankable business idea, we encourage you to formalize it. By that I mean we encourage you to have it registered through PACRA, and also you ensure that you are compliant with some state requirements like tax compliant with ZRA. You also have a bank account, because CEC does not give you cash. CEC, once we fund you, will definitely need an account where we can channel those funds. Okay. And also we will appreciate having you when you have an NRC. At least we also need to know the proof of your residence, where you stay, where you do your business, so at least it's easier for us to follow you once we give you the money. So you are a citizen and you qualify. But let me also amplify on that. We know that we have partnerships. You may be a Zambian and you may be in partnership with a foreign entity. So CEC also covers for that. That's why we have categories called citizen influenced, citizen empowered, and citizen owned, so that we cater for such partnerships. We also fund such entities where you have partners with a foreign entity, but you have got a shareholding in that business.
And then some questions that would pop up critically are, am I, as a civil servant, eligible for CEC support?
Yes, you are eligible.
Okay.
Yes, you are eligible if you have a bankable business idea and you meet the set criteria for the core that we've put across. I think you are eligible.
All right. Yeah. Now, I'm sure at this point, so many questions would be raised about eligibility criteria, who can access support from CEC and who cannot. And I would urge you, dear viewer, to visit any of the CEC offices countrywide. For more information, they do have an open door policy. We did hear from the previous episode that CEEC is open to receiving you who is interested in receiving support from the Commission. So for us not to delve so much on this component of eligibility, because we do have some other critical aspects of business development to get through, I'll encourage you to visit any of the CEC offices countrywide and get more information on how you can receive this support. Moving on, Mr. Ngimu, how then, or how long does it take for somebody to get feedback from the Commission? How long does it take for their application to be reviewed and finally be communicated to that they have successfully submitted their application or their application is not successful?
That's a very important question, Mitch. And I think before I answer that question, let me categorically state that
Please do.
CEC has been grappling with a lot of applications. Let me say demand has been quite surpassing the supply, the funds available.
Okay.
So you've heard time and again our DG, Director General, come on set and say the applications are quite overwhelming. So we've never had a situation where we have applications that equate the funds that are available. But to answer your question, I should respond to you in 2 weeks.
Okay. If
you see that we have not responded to you in 2 weeks, you are at liberty to approach our offices, head office, or to call us and demand for a response from CEC. But CEC should be able to process your application and be able to get back to you once we receive your application and inform you of the outcome within 2 weeks.
And quickly, before we move on, what does that processing look like for somebody who is interested? What does typically CEC going to check for in your application when they are assessing it?
Well, we have a lot of issues that you check for. Mm-hmm. We have to look at the qualification criteria. First of all, we'll have to look at the business proposal that you are giving us.
Yes.
Is it really bankable? Is it impactful? Is it going to create jobs? Is it going to address the poverty aspect? We also look at the cash flows. I mean, what are you doing at the moment? But that does not alienate the fact that we also fund greenfield investments. You may just have started your business today and you say, oh, well, I don't have an experience, I don't have a background. CEC will still come in and look at what you have and be able to fund you.
And for somebody who might not know what a greenfield investment is, it's merely a startup.
A startup,
If this
yes.
is just at ideation phase,
Yes.
it's all in your mind, you can come forward to CEEC.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Great. So, all in all, Mr. Ngimo, Director Business Development, on the Empowerment Fact Sheet, highlighting that should you express the need to submit your application to CEEC, having the back of your mind that your application should be viable. It should be aligned to the economic transformation and job creation agenda of the National Development Plan, and particularly right now, it is the 8th National Development Plan. And CEEC might favorably consider your application. Otherwise, this is the Empowerment Fact Sheet TV show, and we are highlighting access to business development support. We are joined by the Director of Business Development at the Commission, which is CEEC, Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission. And this is Mr. Albert Ngimo. Moving on, Mr. Ngimo, are there any special considerations or priority areas that CEEC may focus its support on? Women, youths, or persons with disability, or maybe rural area support?
Yes. In terms of social distribution, Mitch, CEC has prioritized women and youth.
Okay.
In fact, in our disbursement, we make sure that our target is 40% women, 40% youth, 15% men, and 5% people with a disability. But our experience has taught us that we've had fewer, in terms of like in urban areas, fewer women have come forward. And may I take this opportunity to encourage our women to come forward and apply for these funds. We've also had a situation where maybe our persons with disabilities, we've had fewer applications. But what we've done is that we are engaging the bodies, Zambia Persons, Agents for Persons with Disability, to help us to make sure that the applications are channeled through them so that at least we encompass as much a larger population as possible for persons with disabilities. But also, in terms of project financing, Mitch, we are at a critical time. This is a time when the nation is grappling with the drought and also the debilitating drought, rather, and also the load shedding.
Yes.
So we also try and prioritize agricultural products. You may be aware that the country needs to be self-sustaining in terms of food sufficiency. We need food. So CEC definitely at this juncture will prioritize agriculture in terms of funding, which projects to fund. So basically, those are priority areas that we look at in terms of social distribution as well as project financing at a particular moment.
Okay, but that's not to say that other businesses in other sectors cannot be considered. It's just that priority is given to certain sectors of the economy.
Correct, correct.
Great. So it's the Empowerment Fact Sheet right here, and I hope you are benefiting from this information that we are receiving. And I should make mention that this is a series of programs that will continue tackling different aspects of CEEC support, and we encourage you to tune in every time this program pops up on your screen. Moving on, Mr. Ngimo, what happens when the Commission receives an overwhelming response? You did mention that
yes.
The Commission is dealing with a case of an overwhelming response, obviously generated by the fact that there's so many citizens interested in entrepreneurship. What happens in that case when the demand is high, but the resources to then disburse to the people who've applied are not available?
Correct. When we have such pressure, Mitch, that is where we bring in priority areas. We put in priority areas first in terms of our funding, but we are not an institution that will chase you away when you want money, because we know that at an appropriate time, your application can still be considered. We know, of course, that the allocation that, by the way, Mitch, let me state categorically that from 2022 to date, I think the allocation to CEC by the UPND government has outpassed all other allocations that we've received from the inception of CEC in implementing its programs in 2008. Yeah. We've received over 1 billion in government support in the neighborhood of 350 and above every year. But that still is not adequate to cater for the billions of applications in terms of value that we receive. But like I've said, we will prioritize. We will say, okay, which which applications should be prioritized in view of the resources that we have, which are not adequate. But then your application can also still be considered at a later stage when we have funds available. So that should not discourage you from applying. We invite you to apply, and we'll put into consideration your application, and at an appropriate time, it may be funded. But at that particular time, we may also have the need to reassess your application to see if it still meets the needs for which it should be funded.
Okay, and also quickly just on that, if somebody probably applied in 2022 and this is 2025, what advice would you then give them, especially when it comes to reassessment and realigning of their application? Taking into consideration that there's probably a time lapse from the time that they put in their submission, and looking at their costings, then there's probably going to be a difference.
Yes.
And that might affect ultimately their loan amount.
Yes. CEEC, Mitch, like I've said, will reassess those applications that have sat with us for a longer period of time. We'll subject them to a reassessment so that we are able to see, because what you applied for in 2022, maybe you applied to buy a truck, and you submitted as quotations for 100,000 for that truck.
Yeah.
And by virtue of that, you applied for a loan that would enable you buy that truck. So today we cannot say that same loan application loan value can suffice for you to purchase that particular truck. So we will subject that to a reassessment. We will engage you and find out whether you are still interested in continuing with that project application or you have a change of mind. So that is the reassessment that we will have to subject you to.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Albert Ngimu, the Director of Business Development at the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, highlighting much more about business development service provision at CEEC. And before I let him go, quick word to especially the CEC clients and the would-be clients on how they can better their interaction with CEC from a business development perspective.
Correct. To our viewers, even those who are listening to us, perhaps, let me categorically state that CEC ni yawonse. CEC does not alienate, does not exclude anyone. We all encourage you to come forward and participate in this empowerment agenda. But let me also appeal, because sometimes people think that because I'm an individual, I cannot apply to CEC. No, CEC will still accept your individual application, even if you have not registered a business. And at this same juncture, let me also address the informal sector, because apparently people do not know that most private businesses are actually managed. 80% of the private-run businesses are in the informal sector. And of course, 90% of those are actually managed by MSMEs. 80% are in the informal sector, of the privately run businesses are managed by MSMEs. And then 90% of those MSMEs are in the informal sector. And the informal sector right now is providing close to 73% employment. So there is no way we can abandon the informal sector. You may be aware that CEC has included the informal sector. Last year, just in November, the President of the Republic of Zambia launched the 1 billion kwacha worth of the private-public partnership between CEC and Absa Bank. The whole essence was to target our marketeers to begin with, as we expand the access to finance for these other entities. So our marketeers who are in the market, our mothers and our brothers and sisters who are trading, they're working hard to earn a living, CEC is there for you. And all those others who are out there who may need to apply, come through. Don't be afraid, because people stay home because they've heard that, CEC, you can't get a loan because there's a lot of corruption. For you to get a loan, CEC, you have to know somebody. You don't need to. Actually, CEC has zero tolerance. You've heard time and again, even our peers, our minister, our Director General emphasize the fact that we have zero tolerance towards corruption. Should anybody be found wanting, I think we don't hesitate to show the door. So we are encouraging our people not to be afraid, not to shy away. Come forward. These are your offices. Come to CEC or call us, and then we'll welcome you and understand how we should help you.
Mr. Ngimo, thank you very much.
I appreciate.
Great. Some
God
critical information being shared by the Director of Business Development, Mr. Albert Ngimo at CEEC, who is our guest on the Empowerment Fact Sheet. And if you need your business to thrive, well, you know the department to go to. It starts with them, and they will see you through, handhold you through your journey as a CEC client on your way to becoming a sustainable and well-expanded business. And that's what we critically tackle on the Empowerment Fact Sheet. Join us next time around as we look at another critical aspect of operations at CEEC, the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission. I'm your host, Michelo Mukata. Until then, pleasant viewing.